In 2010, I was leading my last youth group mission trip. I had spent 4 years as a full-time youth director while I was going to seminary, and I had watched this group of students move from being freshmen to seniors. We had watched the ministry grow, and in June of 2010, I had the opportunity to lead the last trip I took these students on. I was standing in a little tiny country church in eastern Kentucky, about to offer communion to my students and many of the other young people that were there that week working. And as I stood up, I saw in the back of a church a crocheted sign that said, "The sign of God is that we are led to places we did not intend to go." That I will never forget, because I was about to take what for me was the biggest step of faith that I had ever taken. I was about to leave academia, leave seminary, leave school, which I had done for a long time and was pretty good at, and move on to start a new faith community. Within a week of that, my wife and I were going to finish packing. We were going to drive to a new town where we didn't know anyone, where we had no idea where things were, and try to start a new church. I was terrified, and it was not my plan. And so to see that sign spoke deeply to my heart. It reminded me of this story, the call of Abram, where Abram's living his life, he's doing his thing, and out of nowhere, it seems, the voice of God appears to him and says, "Abraham, I want you to pack up all that you have. I want you to leave your family and the lands that are yours, and I want you to go to a place, and I'm going to show you when you get there." There's not a good idea as to where Abram's going. There's not clear directions or a map that God draws out. He simply says, "Go, pack your things and go. Live this life of faithfulness to my call." Can you imagine Abram coming back to his tent and looking at his wife and being like, "So, I'm on a mission from God. We're going to a place. I don't know where it is." I can actually imagine that conversation maybe more real than most. A couple years ago, I was in Denver, Colorado at a conference, and I met Amy Shandholzer, who's the Director of Congregational Development here in West Virginia, and we were talking, and I said, "Do you have any opportunities to do new things in West Virginia?" And she said, "Well, I've got this one spot in Morgantown. You know anybody that wants a job?" I went back to my hotel room and called my wife and said, "I think we're supposed to move to Morgantown." And she said, "Okay." It was one of those like, "Oh, all right." And we moved here several months later into a house that we had never seen. Tim didn't send me pictures, and I guess there was a reason for that. But they fixed it up. It was great when we got there, but I heard that it wasn't before we got there, We pulled up to this house that we didn't know and began to see a new life unfold before us. So what does it mean for us to be people who live this faithful life? First, we realize that God's call is not one of comfort, but often one of uncertainty. This week I bought a new pair of pants. I bought them at Sam's Club. And I'm not like a sweatpants guy or whatever, like I don't normally wear, but there were these pants at Sam's Club this week that were like soft and stretchy and like super comfortable. They look super comfortable. And so I told Beth they weren't sweatpants, they're lounge wear, because that sounds more sophisticated. And so I bought them and I took them home and they were everything I dreamed they'd be, Here's the thing about these super wonderful, comfortable pants. When I put them on, all of my productivity ceases. I have no desire to move. I just want to be comfortable. Sometimes I think that we work so hard to pursue comfort in our life that we miss out on God's call. Comfort allows us to sit untouched by the hurts and needs of the world. Friends, God continues to call us in the same way that God called Abram. The question is whether we will choose comfort over call. The call of God is less destination and more journey. May we mark the places on that path where we meet God. Finally, the call of God is not about us. While Abram was blessed in a real way, he was blessed to be a blessing to the world. Friends, that is the heartbeat of who we are as people who continue to follow this call of God in our life. We have been blessed, but we have been blessed not simply to hold on to it, but that we might be a blessing to the world. You have been blessed, not for you, but to be a blessing to the world. How will you extend that grace? The sign of God is that we are led to places we did not intend to go. May the God who calls us continue to call us in mighty and surprising ways, and may we be willing to go. Amen.